Hello, it's Judith here from Therapies for the Mind with the last of my 4 videos about sleep. And these videos are still available if you want to go and check them out. I started with the physical effects of poor sleep, then moved on to the mental and emotional effects of poor sleep. I then talked about possible causes and the fact that poor sleep becomes a habit, so it's almost feels like it's out of our control. Today is all about hints and tips, so pulling together all the things I know about how to improve sleep without actually going and working with somebody like me. So things that you can do, self-care. Right, the first and foremost, and you will have heard this, and look, if we're sleeping well, we can get away with it. If our sleep, for whatever, has become poor quality or poor length or both, and it's gone on for a long time, then we have to start being very strict with ourselves. So this means eliminating for a significant time before bed alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, not eating or drinking last thing at night before we go to bed, not taking naps during the day, if that's something that you do. Caffeine, for instance, can stay with us for 24 hours. So I tend not to have caffeine anytime after 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Often I don't only have caffeine first thing in the morning. So, you know, it's not just the hour before or a couple of hours before. Be very, very careful about drinking caffeine in the evenings at all. Alcohol, if you drink enough, can mean you go to sleep very easily. That's before you've got to the passing out stage. But, and I know this from personal experience, typically you will wake in the early hours of the morning and find it very, very hard to go back to sleep. So alcohol appears to be helpful, but isn't if it wakes you, you know, after you've only had 2 or 3 hours sleep and then you can't get back to sleep. Yeah, and eating last thing at night obviously means your stomach, your digestive system is busy if you drink a lot before bed. So yeah, we all should be drinking a lot, but if your sleep is suffering and you're waking up at night having to go to the loo on a regular basis, then do your drinking earlier in the day and slow down as you get to bedtime. Regular exercise helps, you know, all those good things that we've been told. Regular exercise helps with sleep. Devices, phones, tablets, laptops, computers, televisions, all of those things should be stopped again a significant period of time before you go to bed. Now, I know many of us like to go to sleep to the television or the radio, but these are not fine if you're sleeping well, but if you're not, then cut it out. I'm afraid there is effort involved in improving your sleep. If you've not been sleeping well for a long time, it's now become a habit. You have to break that habit. So you have to stop doing anything that's going to potentially affect your ability to get a good night's sleep. And when you've created a new good sleep habit, then maybe you can try introducing one of the other things, one of the things back in again, but go very, very carefully. So devices out of the room you sleep in, devices put down, put on charge, left overnight is the best plan. And, 2-3 hours before you're planning to go to sleep. Now, what keeps many of us awake at night is worry. And the advice there is don't leave your worrying until your head touches the pillow. Get it out of the way. So if they are work worries, then review your day before you leave work or before you stop working. Make your plans for the next day, even if there's something outstanding that's quite serious. Make the plan for what you're going to do about it tomorrow, make your list, and then leave it. I can remember nights when, you know, I had a problem to solve and the right people weren't available and I had to sleep on it or even go a weekend on it. And I think it's important to make your plan, write it down so you've, in a sense, put it to bed so you can put yourself to bed. And the same is true for personal stuff. Some people like to journal and get their day out of their head. But again, the same thing applies. If you've got a particularly busy time, then write a list, make a plan, get it all down there. And an additional tip around, I was going to say piece of advice, but it's not, yeah, it's a tip, around list making for the next day. Be realistic. A really good way of doing this is to only commit to doing 3 things tomorrow. Take the top 3 priority things off your list and commit to doing those. And then if you finish those, you can move on further down the list. The purpose of that is so that you get to the end of the day with a sense of achievement. If we go to bed thinking, oh my God, that to-do list is just not getting any shorter. I added 3 things and only took 1 off. And so we're constantly chasing our tails. If you've committed to doing 3 things that you realistically know you can fit into your day and you've done them, you can feel a huge sense of achievement. You've done what you set out to do. And yes, the to-do list is still there and you'll pick the next 3 off there for the next day. But yeah. There isn't a sense of achievement. It's much easier going to bed knowing you've done a good job than it is going to bed thinking, oh God, I should have done that. Oh God, I've forgotten. Oh, I must get up and write this down because I'm going to forget it, or whatever your particular form of worrying takes. There are some simple physical things about understanding what your environment needs to be for you to sleep well. For some people, me included, sound is a real problem. So you may, if you live near a railway line or something like that, or an airport, have to resort to earplugs. Not ideal, I know, but it's important. What we're trying to do here is do everything that we can to set up a new sleeping habit, which is a good sleeping habit, gets us enough hours sleep and the right quality of sleep. And then, as I say, we can perhaps relax a little bit. So is your room the right temperature? Is there the right amount of light or darkness? Is your bed comfortable? Is your pillow comfortable? For me, I have been known to take my own pillow away with me because for me, pillow is most important. Is your bed linen comfortable? I mean, is it nice and smooth and cool, or do you like it warm and furry? I don't know. What's right for you? No, nobody else has to know. It's entirely up to you. Do you like weight on you at night, or do you not like weight on you? There are weighted blankets that are supposedly calm us. I say supposedly because I haven't tried them. I know a lot of people who have and swear by them. So if you like weight, fine. It makes you feel secure, I think is one of the reasons, but I haven't really looked into it. So, you know, if that appeals to you, go and look into it. I personally have a very, very light duvet that's filled with silk. So it keeps me warm and cool, but there isn't a lot of weight on, but that's my choice. So we covered light, temperature, bedding, bed, pillow. Yeah. And, you know, maybe it needs tidying up, maybe it needs decorating. Make it a little haven of peace and tranquility and all those good things you need before sleep. A very, very good, useful plan is to have a bedtime routine. There will be certain things you do before going to bed. What I do with clients when I'm working with people with sleep issues is to get them to come up with a step-by-step plan of their pre-bed routine. And that can include all the usual stuff you do. It maybe includes something else, like listening to a meditation or reading a book or whatever works for you. And then you do that routine in the same order every single night. You go through your routine step by step in the same order every night. what you're doing is training your body and your mind to realize that when I do these things in this order, it's time to switch off and be ready for sleep. And it works. I know it works. So it is worth making your own list. And yeah, it's not an instantaneous wave a magic wand and you'll sleep for 8 hours every single night, but it does help. If you stick to it, it's a sort of medium term thing that you have to keep doing until your mind and your body get the hang of it. And as I say, that sleep routine can include some form of relaxation, whatever works for you. I teach my client a deep breathing technique. There are lots of them out there. Go and have a look and see what suits you. I personally find doing some kind of progressive muscle relaxation, which is what I do at the beginning of self-hypnosis anyway, but sometimes I do it just on its own, and that's just going through your body, making sure either physically or in your imagination that your body is relaxed. Every single part of your body is relaxed. It doesn't, just start anywhere and again get into a routine of the order in which you relax your body. Meditation I've mentioned. Gentle yoga. If you want to do yoga, then talk to whoever you've learnt yoga with so that they can teach you some things that are good, because exercise late at night isn't good, so you don't want to be doing anything too strenuous. There are apps galore that will offer you, normally at a price, sleep meditations or sounds or music for sleep. What I do with my clients is I give them initially a sleep recording to listen to. I have a range of them. We agree which one we think is going to be best for that particular person. And then they listen to that. It's effectively a hypnosis session, which guides them from hypnosis into sleep. And they listen to that before they go to sleep and if they wake in the night. And then normally in their second session, I teach them self-hypnosis, which starts with this progressive body relaxation. And when they've practiced, because it is a learnable skill, when they practice self-hypnosis, then they will normally switch to doing self-hypnosis at night to get them to sleep or back to sleep, and have the recording as a sort of plan B backstop if they have a particularly bad night. And I can't say this often enough. What we're aiming to do is break an old habit that has now become absolutely automatic of not sleeping well, and create a new habit of sleeping well. So all the things that you're doing, you may be able to relax once you've established a good sleeping pattern. Okay, so currently I have on offer a sleep recording. A sleep relaxation recording, effectively. So the link to that will be at the bottom of the page. And if you take that, there will be an opportunity to join me for a masterclass to learn self-hypnosis. And just as a little plug, if you like, and you may have seen this online anyway, I was working with a group of people on needle phobia, and as it was a group program, I started with self-hypnosis in the first session. And one of the people, Debs, who was on that program, got in touch with me the next day and said, thank you. I've had the best night's sleep I've had for, I think it's about 6 or 7 years. I've had 8 hours of good sleep. She'd done self-hypnosis with me in the evening in the group session. She'd done it again when she went to bed. And she'd also already done that other very useful thing, and she'd established a sleep routine. And she has, since that moment, since that day or night, slept 8 hours every night, except for a couple of odd occasions when there were some good reasons for her to have a bad night or not such a good night. But she was able to get straight back into sleeping 8 hours. Now, her sleep routine, and this is something that I'm looking at doing some sort of collaboration with somebody about using oils, using essential oils to help with sleep. There are things you can buy. There are pillow sprays, and I mean, most things include or are lavender. Give it a go. What have you got to lose? I personally, because like many people, have had the odd period over the last year where my sleep has not been as it normally is, and I drink chamomile tea last thing at night. So think of all those things, watch the video again if you've missed some, and decide what's right for you and take some action, because it is so very, very important that you do something if your sleep has been poor, 5 hours or less, or poor quality, and often the two go together, for a significant period of time. It's time for you to take action, because there are some serious consequences of continuing as you are. And as I said on a previous video, you may believe you're okay on 5 hours sleep a night. Lots of people say they are, but in fact, the evidence shows that you are not. Your judgment is affected. You believe you are because you're coping, and because you have to believe it, because otherwise what do you do? But you're not. You are doing damage to yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. And that damage can be serious and long term. So now is if you've listened this far, take some action. Do something on that list. There's a link to my sleep recording underneath this video. Have a listen to that. Do something, please. And until I see you again on another topic, please take care, and please do something so that I can say to you, have a good night's sleep, and you can be confident that that will be the case. Not just one night, but every night, or pretty much 99% of the nights. I'll settle for that. Okay then, bye for now.